the removal of the speed. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's, as everyone's aware, the properties that the skate park and the United Street Park sites belong to the school district. And it was always understood that when they needed those, that whatever was on there would be vacated. And in our discussion, with my discussion with Jeff Wangs, the superintendent, I asked him what was his timelines, what times did he want them removed. We made no action whatsoever to remove the skate park. We're happy with the location as it is right now. One of the positive things in having to move it is I think we're going to have a better skate park with more implements and more concrete for the kids to enjoy. That is if we can find a way to fund it. But first, before I bring it to the board, we'll take it to the proper committee. But I wanted to get all of the bids in. And John is away right now. He'll be back next week. And those should be coming into him sometime next week to get some idea of what the cost might be so your board can make legitimate and logical decisions based on it. The location, I think, is a perfect location. I've experienced it in and around the Bakersfield area time and time again. And that's the good use of catch basins. Our retention basin, we have a catch basin adjacent to this site, and on the other side of the fence, there's a smaller one, a shallow one. And that one might be perfect. It might be too big. And I figured out that we can do two things to mitigate the size. We can put a dike in the middle with a break in the center so water can flow between both. And we can pump it, we can channel the water out like normal and make it a worthwhile thing to do. And a lot of the catch basins in and around Bakersfield where they have their facilities, they have softball facilities that are underwater. And nobody's out there playing softball during the winter when it's raining and the water's flowing. And I doubt that they'll be out there in the skate park during the rain and stuff. And we can vacate the water from that as quickly as possible as soon as the weather turns. So it's something that we can provide, I hope, and have vision that with the help of the surrounding community and Ariela's comments about getting them to help, maybe we could get some help from them because we'll have a project that they can focus on. And that's the intent. And hopefully we can get it done as soon as possible. And I dare give a timeline, but as soon as possible. And we are working on it.
Okay, so the comments then that I've been hearing around the community, if the community wants the skate park to remain where it is, you need to go to the school board and talk with them. Absolutely. And the superintendent, because we would just assume they would be where it is. Right. So that is the people that needs to be addressed, not only by the public, but also by,
My question is this with the skate park. I don't know how it's handled nowadays, but what about if somebody should get hurt in this skate park? The one that's presently existing or the one that you want to put in over here at the drainage basin?
Currently, there's signs on there that the liability, they use it at their own risk. And they're supposed to use adequate protection, helmet, knee pads, and arm pads, and the like. So
yeah, but you know kids are kids.
I know. But you have the same risk at the location that it's currently at as you would moving it.
I can speak to that. Way back when we were trying to do it, we found out that as long as you don't attempt to supervise it, and it's open to the public with general rules, then there's no problem. But if you want to supervise it, then you put yourself up to litigation.
Okay, so the kids that are playing now, they're unsupervised whatsoever.
All right. Right. That's it.
Okay.
This is,
This is action C.
I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. This is, right now, at $3,800 a month, and we will use them, as long as we need them, to, get information out. There is a request to, have continued service, as anybody would like. Our intention is to do it on a monthly in the beginning.
Okay, what will they actually be working on and doing?
Oh.
For the agency?
For the agency, they're gonna be getting information out to the community and various media to get information out that we have just discussed tonight. Try to get that into the community, to inform the community better. We can do a better job in informing our community, our ratepayers, so they have an understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it. It is, it's difficult when only one segment of your community is speaking. And we're going to have them get information out that's factual, that is consistent, and it's things that our community deserves to know.
And what media will they be using? And will that be extra? I mean, they will be working on the verbiage. Will that include some of the postage or posters, or is that?
They'll be doing flyers, they'll be doing print, they'll be doing print media, they'll be doing social media, Facebook, things like that. Any type of media that would reach our ratepayers is what they're going to be doing. And if I may, invite Dave Saltman from Passantino to answer some of these questions also.
My name is Dave Saltman. I'm with Passantino Anderson Communications. We're a local public affairs firm. We've worked with a number of different renewable energy companies. We've worked with a number of different municipalities in helping them to get information out to their consumer base, or if they're elected officials, to their constituents. One of the things that's difficult is government transparency, especially reaching especially reaching your constituents or customers can be a challenge. And one of the things that folks do is often hire a PIO, public information officer, to get that information out to the community. And what we're looking to do is really open up the dialogue between yourselves and the community through multiple different communication channels. When you take a look at a lot of the questions that were asked here tonight, many of those could have been addressed in a frequently asked questions document or a fact sheet that can be prepared, which is something that we do. Now, the benefit that our firm brings is most agencies hire a public information officer. Our proposal is at a substantial discount to what a public information officer would cost you. Additionally, the contract is as long or as short as you want it to. And you get our entire team. You get people with a background in media, media relations, journalism, legislation, whatever it happens to be that you're looking to take care of. We have a very wide team that will be able to do that. To answer your question, some of the specific things that we'll be working on is developing messaging and outreach materials, such as fact sheets. When the board brings something new, stuff that can be put onto your website, we will develop social media pages through Facebook and others that will have this information that if somebody does use social media, they'll be able to get it there. If somebody does use your website to get information, they'll be able to get it from the website. If people prefer email, we'll be able to do an email distribution. Individual fact sheets could be included in the billing statements that you're already sending out. The other thing that we'll do is we'll draft and distribute press releases to all the pertinent media that would report about the different things happening within the district, so that all of the different channels that are out there, you have multiple news sources in the Rosamond area, that report on what you're doing, making sure that they have that information. I see a lot of the different news sources out here right now, but making sure that across the board, whether it be traditional, non-traditional, whether it be a blog site or what have you, that those folks have access to that information. We'll also help establish community hotlines and access to social media where conversations can happen back and forth. For instance, if you post something on Facebook that has pertinent information, the community is able to ask questions on that. We'll monitor that and make sure it gets back to them. We'll open up different communication channels so that maybe some of the questions that were asked here tonight don't necessarily have to happen here. They can happen where people can take a look at it at the convenience of their home. Another thing that we do is we work with the front counter staff and all of your staff in here to get an assessment of what questions are asked the most frequently. So those questions, what we'll do is put them in available spots through your website or social media, or even sheets that we can make that can be distributed at the front counter, so that frequently asked questions that are generic in nature are able to be answered right away. That's some of the other things that we'll work on is refining your website. We'll work with your group in making suggestions for things that are more visible, that your folks are looking to get answered, your customers. Any events that you guys want to attend or be part of, we can help with creation of the things that are necessary for that, community outreach meetings, what have you. So that is kind of in a nutshell some of the things that we'll be helping out. Typically what we do is prior to your monthly board meeting, we'll provide a complete report bound of what we've done. We'll give it to you. Again, we like to attend the meetings, and then we can get you called up, answer any questions that you have, you would like to have publicly, and that will be done every single month, so you can see the exact activity that we're doing. And again, the way our contracts work, if you want to lighten up on it, you're free to lighten up on it. If you want to cut us loose, you're free to cut us loose. So it really is a great benefit to the district to be able to retain the services of a full public information officer without some of the exposure of bringing somebody on full-time to your staff to handle those things. We've been in this community for 7 years. Prior to that, the owner of the company, George Passantino, had another 13 years of background. He comes from a legislative background. Myself, for the 9 years that I was up here before I did what I did or am doing for Passantino Anderson, I was the classified advertising director with the Antelope Valley Press. I'm the past president of the Palmdale Chamber of Commerce. I remain very active in the Antelope Valley community. Prior to that, I had 13 years of media experience running different advertising departments through the Southern California region. I have an extensive background in media and community outreach, be it social, traditional, or what have you. We have a variety of other team members too that specialize in direct mail. We have other folks who specialize in social media. We really have a diverse team, so instead of just getting one person who has a lot of skill sets, you're really acquiring an entire company that has dedicated people to these specific areas that we're looking to help out with.
Well, this sounds like the kind of thing that we would do in business corporation where we have a product to sell. So my first question is, what is the product that we're selling? And secondly, why are we selling it to our own ratepayers? And third, couldn't we, for this amount of money, spend $4 grand, let's say, every 6 months and get a couple good papers out on these issues and use the press? So I'd like to hear the board comment as well, which is this in balance budget-wise? Is it worth $60,000 or $55,000 a year to how many?
45,000 plus.
Yeah. So is that a realistic expenditure given the budget we have? So I just don't quite see the need to go to this Cadillac thing. I think we could do something at the tin level.
Also advertising, we budget for our public relations, we don't budget. There's a spot that we budget for it. One of the problems that we're starting to run into now, the general manager and his staff, he told you that he spent 2 hours with a community member. A lot of times his time is taken away from other tasks. We have a lot of different fronts we're working on, trying to address certain issues. So with the comment you made about the year, he may be here for 1 month and he's done. That's to be determined. There's nothing that's locked in stone. One of the things that we discussed when we met with him at the governmental affairs meeting, public relations meeting, is that there's a lot of information that we want to get out to the community. And one of the problems that, well, it's not a problem in the situation that we have here, we're not media people. We have a very good GM, he has a very good staff, but we don't have a particular person that does it on a regular daily type basis. And when you bought about a company, when a company has something to sell or has to get information out, they do that. I'm a police officer. We want to get information out to the community. We don't have a police officer. We may make a statement, but ultimately we have a press relations unit that brings the information out. One of the problems, if I make a comment, it's open to interpretation. If Kathy makes a comment, if Byron makes a comment, you have 4, 5, 6 different comments, different people give their interpretation. If we have one single source that puts out the information from the district, the community's getting good information. Now, it may turn out that he doesn't meet any of our needs, and next meeting may tell you that he's no longer here. But that's to be determined. However, I do know that in getting information out to a community this diverse and this vast, you need kind of a central location where you can go, give one person information and get it out to them. We have a website. Not everyone goes to the website. I've been in the office there and people come into the lobby and they've asked questions in the lobby there that you don't get on the street. I've gotten questions that's asked of me at the post office. So ultimately, we're trying to find the best centralized way to get good, current, accurate information out to the community.
Regular basis, each year we budget for informational purposes. However, in the budget currently, we have revenues for that. But in this, I wanted to bring it forward to the board to make a decision of looking towards Passantino Anderson as a way that we could communicate good information to the community. It's vital, and we can't do that on a daily basis the way we do it today. I'm too busy. The staff is too busy right now to do the public relation or the public information stuff that we have to do. So, having said that, I think it's very important that good information get out to the community in a timely manner that's consistent and thorough to answer many of the questions that people have. So when other information is derived, there is two sides to the story and not just one. So I think it's all part and parcel of being responsive to you, the ratepayer, and it's a part of doing business that we need to accomplish.
Question. Some people, they're not computer. Some people are computer lit, you know, when it comes down to computers. So, I mean, a newsletter would be, I think, more preferable if it's coming to someone's front door.
You're correct, and that's part of it. That's part of what they'll produce. They will produce that, as well as electronic for those that are literate in that field. We've got a lot of people that get a lot of their information off Facebook, Twitter, whatever accounts that are out there. I personally don't, but a lot of people do. And it's just to be able to get information to as many people in the community as we possibly can.